Hey y'all, coming to y'all with some info about the artist of the week highlight, and that would be Simon Keenlyside. If I said his name right. Yep, Keenlyside. So he is a baritone like myself, and I always am looking for inspiration and people to look up to, and I really liked his voice. I was just looking around for some baritones online, and he popped up, and I listened to a piece from Marriage of Figaro uh, called, what was it called? No, it wasn't Marriage. It was Die Flöte, Die Flöte, and I think the song was Papagena, 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 and he was dressed up in like this folk, maybe peasant-looking outfit, and just kind of like hunched the entire time. Kind of reminded me of Jack from Into the Woods. Anyway, he had a great sound. It was very pointed yet full, and I couldn't think of anything to say that was bad about his sound. It was in German for that first song. His diction was excellent. It was very crisp. His jaw kept moving, like very exaggerated. I didn't know if that was for effect or if that was just his technique, which I've been told not to do. But his voice, I think, trumps any of that technical nonsense. Not that it's nonsense, but at that level where you're performing, I think you just kind of let it slide in the moment of. So anyway, I read and listened to an interview of his with some TV crew that were in America, and he apparently started singing when he was 21 years old, which is pretty late in the game. He attended college in Manchester, and he said the fees were small, and he was lucky he got in, and that he was completely blindsided by the amount of talent that was there, and he'd never listened to opera in his life, so he was absorbing everything he could. And I think he debuted in 1987, and there was like no rehearsal before. He was really nervous, and everyone loved him after he performed that first time, and he's made a pretty steady career in singing baritone and bass for opera and also just for performing solo. And I actually stumbled upon his recordings of Schumann's Dichterliebe, Dichterliebe, and I actually sing a song from the cycle, Im wunderschönen Monat Mai, back when I was, I think, a sophomore in high school, and I always thought it was a tenor song. Maybe I wasn't a tenor even then. I was just starting voice, so my voice was probably living in baritone land more than tenor land at the time. But I think that range of the song goes up to about an F, which is about my best note on any given day for the upper extension. And it's just weird how you can have a perspective on a song for most of your singing life, even though I haven't been singing for too long, and then have this epiphany of, wow, I guess it sounds better if you have a more robust sound performing. And I think I would prefer it any day to a tenor because it lives kind of in the mellow part of the range. Sounds kind of like this, if I'm remembering right. Im wunderschönen Monat Mai, als alle Knospen sprangen. And since I'm not a tenor anymore, you can hear I'm more of a baritone. You can just hear if you have a higher timbred person singing that, you kind of go, okay, well maybe it would sound better for baritone. Anyway, long story short, it's pretty cool. And maybe I'll revisit that song, but I think he's a pretty good example of a baritone out there who's living in the lyric baritone land. He doesn't have a big upper extension from what I've heard of him. I think he's only gone up to about a G, but sometimes that's all you really need to do as a baritone. If you can, pick out the songs you can sing without, squeaking, that's what you should do. Anyway, feel free to leave comments below, and I'll see y'all next time I have an artist spotlight. Bye.